Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. With new tariffs creating uncertainty, many are on the edge waiting for what's next. So today we're having a conversation about leading through uncertainty in a shifting market. Joining us now is Meridith Elliott Powell, award-winning business expert, keynote speaker, and best-selling author, to talk us down, I should say, from the ledge. And Meridith, this is something that I'm sure so many companies call on you for because you're an expert in this area of uncertainty and how leaders should lead. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule and joining us on the show during the crazy time right now, right?
My favorite subject to talk about. It is a crazy time.
So let's jump right in here. What strategies have you seen successful leaders use during times like this to keep their teams focused, to add profitability to the bottom line, and to be forward thinking, through uncertain times like this? It's tough, right?
It is tough. I mean, because CEOs and leaders themselves are nervous about it, and it's tough to get up there and and motivate a team when you're nervous about things. But there's a couple of things that you need to be doing as a leader that, quite frankly, are critical. Number one is you need to have a vision. You need to be really clear about where the business is going. You got to get everybody focused. The second is that you need to be very transparent while being simultaneously confident, meaning that let them know you're worried about it too. Let them know you don't know what change is coming next, but here's your plan and your strategy for how to get there. As worried as CEOs and leaders are today, that's challenging, but you have got to lead your team through this. You've got to take it very seriously.
Yeah. It's great advice. There's a lot of people, I think, too, that are dealing with teams where maybe some on the team are thinking, oh, maybe I should be looking for another position. Maybe the company's not going to do as well during the times of uncertainty like this with tariffs and everything else going on in the stock market and inflation and things like that. But how do you keep those people engaged? To say, hey, don't go anywhere. And you just pointed out a couple of them, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to leave you if they don't think you have a plan and a strategy.
Yeah.
So as a leader, if you just when you think you're communicating enough, you're just getting started. You need to be front and center in front of that team. The other is you mentioned keeping them engaged. Your team is sitting there right now wondering what's getting next. They feel very out of control. Involve them in the process. Talk about what will we do as a team if the tariffs come into place? What will we do as a team if interest rates don't work out in our favor? If our supply chain get them involved in it, giving them some level of control, and then they'll stay and they'll engage.
Yeah. So important to bring it in and bring the team in and consult with them on all of those areas. What's your advice for protecting profitability when costs are so unpredictable right now?
Yeah. Number one is I'm watching sales cycles slow down a bit too, because the uncertainty decision making is slowing down. So number one is you need to increase the sales efforts. Everybody who's got a sales pipeline out there, right? Get your sales team doubling the pipeline, more effort with that. The other is really focus on productivity. Again, it's a great opportunity to say to the team, costs are a bit out of control. What can we do to increase productivity? What can we do to increase efficiency? And your team will help you get there. I was listening to an interview with Howard Schultz yesterday, the CEO of Starbucks, and it was an employee who started writing names on the cups, and he said all the great ideas with Starbucks came from his team. So engage them, involve them. They'll get you through this.
Yeah, no question about it. And you have pointed out in previous interviews here on CBT News that there's been so many companies that have been built during times of uncertainty, right?
Yes, I've found at least 9 that have been around over 250 years.
Wow.
Companies have grown through world wars. They've grown through economic depressions. They've grown through a couple of pandemics. You've got this. I passionately believe that uncertainty can be your greatest opportunity to grow your business if you lead your team through it.
Yeah, for sure. And you can come out stronger than ever on the other side, right? You bring down overhead costs, you bring down expenses like never before. And then during the good times, if you can maintain those controls, then profitability can shoot up, right?
Absolutely. And you need to be listening to customers right now, because what you're selling is very different than what you were selling this time last year. What your customers are dealing with and facing with and worried about right now is very different, and you need to respond to that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. What should the communication be to the customers, to the prospects that are out there, for companies that are dealing with this?
Yeah, it's such a good question. It's twofold. Number one, send your sales team out and tell them you want to hear every complaint the customer has. Just tell them to complain like there's no tomorrow, because the path to profitability is through the customer complaint. Think Uber and taxis. Right?
Yeah.
Uber came around.
Yep.
The other is let your customers know you've got a plan and a strategy, and you're in this together. One of the best lines I have heard CEOs use is to go out to customers and say, we know it's challenging. You and I, we're going to get through this together. Be a partner. You're helping them. They're helping you. You'll grow together.
That's right. That's right. There's no question about it. Any final thoughts to leave our audience with that maybe I overlooked in my questions today that you'd like to share with them?
Well, you never overlook anything. But I will say, I want people to understand that if you can just focus on your vision, really focus on where you're taking your company, your mind will find a way to get there. And through the research I have done, uncertainty can be your greatest opportunity, but you've got to train your brain to believe that and train your team to believe that. You do that, you will consistently turn it to competitive advantage.
I agree. Meridith Elliott Powell, award-winning business expert, keynote speaker, best-selling author, and all-around great person. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.